Hi, Tony from Songwriters Chop Shop here, and on this episode of Songwriting Tips from Famous Songwriters, it's Lady Gaga. Tip 1. Inspiration can come from anything, but you have to turn it into art.
It's because creativity for me is like, it's religious. Sometimes I'm at the piano, and sometimes I just hear something and I write it out loud, and sometimes I'm just humming, or I'm in the studio and I'm making a beat and I'm singing along. It's always different. When I wrote Monster, I had this vision. I had this vision of the way that I have seen men for so long. Well, I like monsters, but monsters are bad for you, I guess. So that's what the record was about. I do hear music all at once and in lots of colors. It's like a painting. And as I finish it, I'm just adding in all of the colors, filling in the lines. The inspiration comes naturally, but I put a lot of time and effort into everything I do, and to the point that I do nothing else. I mean, I wake up in the morning and I work creatively all day.
Tip 2. Write what you want to hear.
I resigned myself to make the kind of music that I wanted to listen to. Not what I thought anyone wanted to hear, or what would perhaps be the most credible or notable. I just created what I wanted to listen to, what I thought was great, what I thought could be groundbreaking where I was living, which was an area where indie music was much more popular and pop music was considered to be annoying.
Tip 3. Know what you want to say.
Someone asked me once what they, or many times I think, what I thought it meant to be an artist. And I said what I think an artist needs essentially more than discipline or even talent is a perspective. So if you are always changing what you do based on what other people say, you completely lose yourself and you become just, something that's constantly affected by what's around you, as opposed to stable and your own and like autonomous in your identity.
Tip 4. Getting good takes time and practice.
Well, it takes a lot of time. I actually liken songwriting to being an infant. Growing up, when you're a baby, you burp and you cry, and you have no control over the sounds that you make. It's just completely visceral and organic. And then at some point you realize that you're burping and you're crying, and you figure out how to make it better. You learn how to be a young person. Kind of like songwriting. It's like you make a lot of crap, and then all of a sudden you realize that you're making bad music, and you learn how to make good music.
Tip 5. Give people something to sing along with. Listen to this clip of Red One talking about working with Lady Gaga.
In everything I do, the melodies are so important to me, because coming from Morocco and knowing the world, so many countries don't understand English, don't know English. They just know it, like that, but they don't talk it. You gotta give people something they can sing, they can feel and sing it with you. You sing along to. And so the process has always been, I come up with a melody or she comes up with a melody. If she comes up with an incredible melody, that's what we're gonna use. If I come up with the best melody, that's what we're gonna use. It wasn't about the ego, about Lady Gaga or Red One. It's just about writing the best song possible. And the other thing, I have to give it to her, she's an amazing lyricist. Trust me when I say that's too complicated, or that's, this line, it's not easy to sing, it doesn't sound hooky. She would change it.
Tip 6. Earn the applause, even if it's one fan at a time.
Hard work and discipline and rehearsal, and that's always the most thrilling way to earn applause. And everything that you've seen me do, I've always rehearsed a lot for it. So there's a lot of passion that goes behind it.
That you don't have to get lucky on the internet. It's not a social media game. You don't have to find the hot producer and get the hot track, to be a star. You can just learn how to play an instrument and sit in your room and practice and write songs and poetry, and then you can go around the corner to the bar and meet other artists that do the same thing that you do, and you can hang out and talk about music and write songs, and then you can play at the spot around the corner and gain one fan, and then do it over and over and over again until you're discovered.
But the important thing is, don't make good music in your room that nobody hears. You've got to put it out there. You've got to play shows every week. You got to play it for your friends. Sit with your mom and dad and say, hey, check out what I wrote. You got to put the art in the room, because it's the people that makes the work come alive.
So I would say anybody that's on this show that's upset because their stuff's not getting played on the radio, you need to sit down with yourself and look yourself in the eye in the mirror, and you need to say, is this my destiny? Am I really supposed to be doing this? And if you are, you're gonna sit in that mirror and you're gonna figure out, how am I gonna get my song played on the radio? And you're gonna look deep in that mirror and go right into the corner in the iris of your eye, and there's gonna be an answer.